Ah, that's better. Got a little gussied up for this. Anyways, I want to do a quick recap before launching into the rest of the links because I don't want to just start this series over. I'm going to try to make a playlist of all these videos when I'm finished so that you can see where I'm drawing my sources from, and then you can agree or disagree based on that if you wish to. But I would like to think we can all at least agree that this is an issue, that military justice, as one article points out, is an oxymoron because a lot of people who need it the most are not getting it. And the people who are perpetrating such deeply harmful acts, such as sexual assault and rape, um, are oftentimes getting a slap on the wrist, if that. Some of them are getting promotions. No, I'm not joking. So I talked about one of the resources that got me into knowing about this entire situation here, called Invisible No More. Links down in the underbar. In fact, all these articles will always be linked down into the underbar, even if I'm not covering that particular article in this particular thing here. I talked about, from Politico's article, women in the military deserve better, but I would also add men as well, because again, as you find out from Not Invisible, men are being raped in the military too. And no, sorry to burst your bubble, they're not secretly gay men, they're not asking for it, and on and on. And yes, their pain matters too. And just because they're a man doesn't mean that if they get raped, they can simply just walk it off. We need to stop acting as if men are tanks, impenetrable to even the most demonstrable of acts visited upon them, just because they happen to be in the military. Now, I'm not trying to call anybody in the military sissies. If anything, I have a great deal of respect for you guys, you men and you women in the military. And if anything, that's why I'm doing this series, for you guys. Because some of you may have already heard this, some of you may have not, but did you know that rape is a occupational hazard of service in the military? Yeah, I'm as shocked as you are about that sort of thing there. I talked about some of the survivors are meets with Civil Rights Commission on military sexual assault with cautious optimism. This was from January 11th of this year, which was when I started again trying to represent my case about military rape of men, servicemen and servicewomen, and how the systems set in place, thus the cautious optimism in the article number 3, links down in the underbar, is due to the fact that these victims have been repeatedly told that these things would be handled, that this would be taken care of, that commissions were being drawn up, and what happened to them would never happen to another serviceman or woman, or at least not on the levels that they're at now, which, if you're keeping score, no matter what the numbers, any of this rape is unacceptable levels, but in reality, I hate to say it, but it's just like with child molestation. We can never fully 100% eliminate it, but we can bring it down to what could be considered acceptable levels, even though obviously any kind of rape, child molestation, or what have you is unacceptable. But it's not realistic to think that we can weed out bad elements in society, kill them all off, and our troubles will be over. That's not how this works. Not to mention the fact that, as I found out through Not Invisible and some of these links, some of these rapists have buddies, and some of these buddies are also rapists, meaning there are rape rings inside the military who pass pictures around of men and women who are very rapeable. And no, I'm not talking in the stupid term that one senator had talked about. I mean people who they seem to have no problems with being able to rape and get away with it. And this is considered acceptable. This is considered military justice. Do you get the problem yet? But exact numbers are hard to pin down. Uh, some reports place rape as high as 52 rapes per day, again, of men and women in the military. The Pentagon tries to say that this is inaccurate by trying to say that there are different classifications of sexual assault, even though most of these involve the imposing of one's will, which tends to be what a rape actually is, and tends to involve unwarranted sexual and oftentimes aggravated sexual contact with a non-consenting victim, which I would consider rape, but I digress. Even if the Pentagon is right and the 52 rapes per day is not 100% accurate, the number that they do tend to put it at is still highly unacceptable, especially when you find out how dismal the actual prosecution, if prosecutions actually pursued, of these rape cases in the military actually is. So then we come almost full circle to about where I had stopped last. New bill aims to help victims of military rape and sexual assault. When soldiers are raped, sexually assaulted, or harassed in the military, they're required to report the abuse to their immediate supervisor. The problem is, sometimes that supervisor is the one committing the abuse. Now, I've heard, as you may hear through some of these other articles, that that is now being amended. That is now being fixed. Because sometimes even the supervisor above your supervisor who's sexually assaulting you can either be in on it or just be such a buddy that they're willing to do whatever it takes, including tampering with evidence, to make sure that their buddy stays out of hot water. Yeah, so in other words, friendship is more important to some of these people in the military, some of these supervisors in the military, than rape is. You know, bros before hoes. Anyways, a new bill introduced to Congress addresses this issue, as well as others. Congresswoman Jackie Speier, excuse me, pardon me, I'm sure I mispronounced that, Speier, Democrat from California, has introduced a bill she calls the STOP Act, or the Sexual Assault Training Oversight and Prevention Act. The goal is to change the way military sexual trauma, or MST, is handled within the military. Quote, I find out that literally by the Department of Defense's own estimation, 19,000 members of the military are sexually assaulted or raped every year. And of those, only 13% report them, Speier explains. Because then you say, well, we can't get exact numbers because none of those things are being reported. Maybe if they're not reporting it, maybe they actually secretly liked it. No. When you're finding out, when you watch or you hear about the stuff that Not Invisible's talking about, that there is little or no guarantee that you're going to get any sort of day in court against your assaulter. That even if they should break your jaw, right, or dislocate it, or dislocate your spine because of the sheer brutality of the attack on them, or if they do internal damage to men, because obviously sometimes that area is not made for such vigorous activity, you know, especially in the case of the men, who's going to believe that they got raped? Who's going to stand up for them outside of people like me, who I've not been raped myself, but I've come damn near close with an ex of mine, but that's a whole nother story in and of itself and is not important to this narrative here. You get laughed at. You get mocked. and nothing happens. So why bother reporting it if it's only going to be more of a humiliating experience? Because as I've talked about, oftentimes what these victims are saying is, to some degree, the critics are right, but for not the reasons they think they are. Oftentimes, for these victims, the rape was not the worst part of it. The re-victimization via the legal system, the humiliation, the discharge, the less than honorable discharge or dishonorable discharge of these people who've already suffered enough, that was the worst part. Not only not getting the medical benefits to maybe fix their jaw or fix the internal problems that they have from their attack, and not having any justice, that this was done to them, and people are willing to sit on their hands or even cover for these disgusting individuals. It hurts. I've never been there, but I can imagine if I was wronged and I was provably wronged, and not only was the person who did it to me free and not charged of anything, but is getting promoted and having more people put under him, which may as well be more people being put under this person physically, because as the statistics show, rapists don't just rape once. Especially if they can get away with it, that is a classic definition of rape enabling. You're telling them that, oh, well, I'm safe here. I can go into the military, I can rape all I want, and as long as I have people who have my back, I can just rape. It's a smorgasbord of rape in the military for these rapists. And the fact that through these background checks, more often than not, the military knows the people who've attempted rape or who have raped, and take them anyways. And then they wonder why there is a problem of rape in the military. Are you kidding me? How does this make even the smallest bit of sense to anybody? And how does this help our servicemen and women? It doesn't. It hurts them. And not... No, this is disgusting. This is horrible. This cannot be allowed to stand. But this is, part 1 of Series 2 on the military rape. Links are down on the underbar of everything that I'm going to cover. So let's get into the next video, shall we?